I'm Robert Wiles, graduated in the class of 1982. I was part of the 1981 state football championship team, part of the 1981-1982 state runner-up baseball team. I was fortunate enough to play with a lot of great players on the 81 state championship team. We had a bunch of seniors that year. I played linebacker and offensive tackle, which is kind of ironic. I was a running back all the way up till the senior year. Then Coach Katrash decided that we need some more linemen to get strengthened up the line, so he moved me and Kurt Wine to the offensive line, which for pretty good. First time any of us ever played line together that we won a state championship, which is kind of remarkable, I think. Most memorable times that we had was probably in the state runoff. That we had some pretty good games. Pulaski Robinson, Kurt Wine had a big hit. Won that game 21-20. And the most memorable moment of my football career was I made the final tackle probably for a 28-yard loss in the state finals for the last play. As soon as I made the tackle, I was just mobbed by fans, people watching the game, because we had the game at Highland. So if you can imagine 3,500 people around our football field at that time, it was pretty packed, and it was a pretty amazing time. Baseball, we had a lot of good teams in baseball. Like I said, our freshman year, we didn't play on the senior high team then, but they won state championship that year. Coming back my 10th grade year, we had every guy back off that team except for one guy. And we all thought, okay, we're going to go state again. Nope, we got beat in district. My junior year and my senior year was state runner-up. And we had a lot of good pitching my junior year, but senior year we still had good pitching. And probably my most memorable moment of that time was I probably hit a walk-off home run to send us in a state tournament that year against, I think it was either Marmaduke. It was at Marmaduke, but I can't really remember who was playing that year. But I just remember he had a 3-run shot and sent us in, and if we didn't win that game, probably would have went home. Football coaches, we had Coach Katrash, Coach Sample, and Coach Hill, which all three of those are in the Hall of Fame. So like I said, I was fortunate enough to play with great coaches and great players, which three of my other classmates, Scott Mooney, Richard Stires, and Scott Street, also in the Hall of Fame. And there's many more off our team that I could name that should be in the Hall of Fame. We got Sandy Hall, got my brother Richard Wiles, got Tommy O'Rose, Dennis Layton was outstanding. Kenny Ricker's probably the best lineman that we ever had. From any class I've ever seen, Kenny could move anybody you wanted to. Scott Mooney and Kurt Wine was two linebackers I played with. We was hard-hitting linebackers that wasn't afraid to go after anybody and tackle anybody. Baseball, we had Coach Katrash starting out and Coach Sample as assistant. My junior and senior year, we had Coach Sample, and Coach Katrash taught us a lot of fundamentals about baseball. I played American Legion baseball with him throughout 2 years of summer. He taught us, we'd go out there for 4 hours, 5 hours before we didn't start batting practice. Coach Katrash, he was an amazing man who knew fundamentals about football and baseball. We was blessed to have him, and I was blessed to have underclassmen under us. They was willing to come out and work hard and do what they needed to do and let us beat up on them and say football practice. So, and nobody quit. It seemed like we all wanted to compete. We still are that way. We're just a competitive bunch of guys, and we talk about every once in a while still that me and my friends that the times have changed. It's like we are just competitive. We would never quit. We would never help anybody up off the field. It's like, okay, we wouldn't have bragged about it. We just, okay, good hit, go back to the huddle. Making a good player and a good advice for somebody I could say is believe in yourself. Listen to your coaches. Do what your coaches say. Work hard. Most important is get in the weight room. On your off time, get out on the field, run. It's like kids today are not conditioned. It's like, I know we live in an air-conditioned society, but get outside and get yourself used to the heat. Run. Don't be gassed in the fourth quarter. Get yourself in shape. Don't tell the coach you need to work out. You work out by yourself. I was fortunate. I lived right across from the high school. And I walk across there, I had a football field. I could run around the football field, run bleachers, do whatever I want to do to work out in the off season. You guys I know your coaches have you here in the summer working out, but when you're here, give 110. Just don't come here and do 50% because that's how you're going to play on the field. You're going to play 50%. When you're at practice, do 110 because it will show off. You know, I'm used to, when I played, we had a winning generation of people that I grew up watching, people after us, but we wanted to be better than them and just work hard. It's like when I played, you had to win district to go to state in football. Now they take the top five seeds. When we was a junior, we lost one game when I was a junior. My sophomore year, we lost 2 games in conference. So and fortunately, my senior year, we lost 1 game, didn't win district, but we was a wild card. So, like I said, I was fortunate enough to play, and I just hope the future generation, I'm a lifelong diehard Rebel fan, that you'll want to get back to the winning culture that Highland's used to.
Hi, my name's David Brogdon. I graduated in Highland in 1989. Played basketball and track. Had some great coaches while I was here, one of them being my dad, Coach John Hanson, who I know is in the Hall of Fame. That's 2 Hall of Famers here that coached me. Had a great junior high coach, and Daryl Blackston, who went on to Pocahontas, won some state championships in girls. My track coach was Sam Hill, who was head football coach here, and had a couple sons that were good players here as well. So I think my coaches were, a big part of what I had going on here. But as in any situation, there was a big community, Rebel pride. It wasn't just the coaches, it was the entire community that made going to Highland and being a part of Rebel Nation a big, honor, honestly. My career at Highland started in Pee Wees. A guy named Russell Miller was my first coach. I really enjoyed playing for him. Kevin King had started a Pee Wee program here. I started in the 4th grade. I always played a year up. Got in the 7th grade. Got to play on the junior high team, which was a pretty cool deal. I was going to school in the middle school. Got to come over to the high school to practice, which was kind of a big deal for being the only 7th grader who got to do that. Won a couple of district championships as a junior high player. Moved up at the end of my 9th grade year. Played in the high school game there with Matt Long and that class. That was a lot of fun. And then 87, 88, 89, played on 3 high school teams. All 3 years we continued to get better. I will say that one of your current employees, if Chad Arnhart had not moved between my 11th and 12th grade year, I think we'd been state champions my 12th grade year. So Coach Arnhart, you owe him one still. I will say that my high school years, we won 2 conference championships, both my 11th and 12th grade year. We missed going to the state tournament by losing to Gosnell on their home floor both years. They had 6 guys that played college basketball, and one of them led the SEC in scoring at Auburn twice. So we lost to a pretty good team both times, once in double overtime. Had a lot of fun playing, but as a person that hates losing more than I like winning, unfortunately most of my memories are of those losses and how we grew from them. I'll say that my time at Highland as a player, played for my dad. The gym I'm sitting in currently, I can confidently say there's never been a player come through here shot as many shots in this gym. Dad was on a 12-month contract, and as a kid, I just got in the truck with him every morning, came up here all summer, and was here from 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock shooting baskets in this gym. So just by sheer volume of time alone, the amount of time I spent in this gym is phenomenal. Dad spent a lot of time with me in here. We did a lot of things. He was a young coach then, and the amount of time he spent trying new things on me, strength shoes, new weight training stuff, it helped make me who I was here. So, I think I finished my career here. I think I'm still the leading scorer in school history, leading rebounder. We won Line College championships, won a ton of games. My teammates had a great set of teammates, both above me in grades and below me in grades. Got to go to college and play with Terry Cormican, who was a grade behind me, which was a lot of fun, us being teammates in college as well. And then as an adult, I've coached a lot of AAU basketball teams and coached several kids from Highland, including your current coach, Adam Wolf, Preston King, I can go on and on about the kids from Highland that have played for me in AAU. Even currently right now at Bad Boy, I employ Jordan McGuire, who's a Highland alum and was a good basketball player. So, my connections to Highland have been long, and my career here was I think, the best time of my life as far as basketball goes, because once you get to college, it's a lot more of a job. Teammates that I can remember are the guys that spent a lot of time in the gym with me. I'd say the teammate that spent the most time in the gym with me was easily Chad Arnhart till he moved. His parents were teaching in Alaska, and he came back and lived with Mr. and Miss Bettis, who just lived across the street from the school here, and I would stop and pick him up, and we'd come up here to the gym and just shoot and do drills. And his dad also was a basketball coach, and had spent a lot of time with Chad. I remember when Chad came here, in the 8th grade, instantly I was a 9th grader. We became a better team. He spent a lot of time in the gym with me. Terry Cormican, I think, was probably the best player I played with here. Like I said, he went on to play college basketball with me at Line, and we had some great times. And then, had Buddy Smith, could really shoot the basketball. Johnny Sweet was just one of those guys that did everything. Had a senior point guard move in, Adam Hensley, that was a really good player. But I think more than anything, I grew up in this program because my dad started coaching here in '78. I was 8 years old. And it was really how those older guys treated me and let me be a part of what was always going on. The Jay Hansons of the world, the Buddy Rudolphs, the Dennis Sublets, those guys, when I'm 8, 9 years old, they're making me feel a part of something. And then there were guys like Alan Williams, who was a 6'6" guy that played for Dad and played college basketball, that played hundreds of games of one-on-one with me. He's 8, 10 years older than me, made me so much better. Guys like John Hanson coming up here on Sunday and Wednesday nights and playing pickup ball with us, and he was the best player in town. So lots of teammates, lots of community people that really made a big difference in making me a better player. There's two things I remember most that's just probably been a big part of my life, and my dad had both of them taped to the office wall that I'm actually looking at right now past this camera. One of them was a quote, Attitude by, I think the guy's name's Charles Swindoll or something like that. And it talks about that every day you wake up, you control your attitude. No matter what, you control your attitude. And Dad was big on attitude, positive attitude. I think he did that when he coached here. Knowing the teachers that were underneath him, when he was a superintendent, I think he talked a lot about, our attitudes can, dictate a lot about what's going on. So that was big. I've always tried to maintain a positive attitude, be an optimistic person, and I think that's helped me a lot in my career as an entrepreneur. But the one I think that's probably more important than that, especially when you've been through some of the things that everybody goes through in life, was it's man's greatest weakness was not in failing, but in failing to rise up each time he falls. Dad taught that. He lived that. I've tried to live that. You get knocked down 9 times, you get up 10. And I think that those two things are what I remember the most. Dad taught us a lot about a lot of things, but those are the two that have stuck with me that I've tried to pass on to kids I've coached and to people that have worked for me through all the years.
I'm Sterling Stowers, class of 2013 graduate. Was a 3-time All-State, 1-time All-Star quarterback for the Highland Rebels. I was a member of the 2009 Junior High Football Conference runner-up, 2011 and 2012 3-4A Conference Championship team, and the 4A semifinalist team in 2012. And I was a member of the baseball, football, and basketball programs from 7th grade through 12th grade. Some of the most memorable moments, the first thing that sticks out in my head was 2012 when we played Pine Bluff Dollarway here in the second round of the playoffs. If not one of the more exciting games in the history of Highland. Just one of the things that stick out the most, right before halftime, one of my teammates, Avery Johnson, who went on to play at Arkansas State, makes an incredible play right before the half. And I think if that's not if not the best play, one of the best plays maybe ever here at Highland in the football program. Another one that sticks out to me was 2010. We played Gosnell here when Coach Wiggins was the head coach for homecoming. we kind of fell apart that game and fell behind. We made a run late in the game, and I threw a 2-point conversion to a classmate, Michael Copeland, to win the game as time expired. And those are just a couple of the key moments that I remember coming through school. I played for Coach Spencer Hill in 8th and 9th grade, and then I also played again for Coach Spencer Hill in 2011 and 2012. But the first high school coach that I played for was Coach Adam Carter. That was his first year back here in 2007. The staff that was here at that time was Coach Wiggins, Coach Hill, Coach Carter, Coach John Sinclair, Coach John Katrosh, and then Coach Marty Neymar. He came back around in 2011. And being around those guys, they were good family men. They were good coaches to all of us. They were somebody that we could go to if we ever needed anything. And they were somebody that we could lean on if we were having issues, or they were good as far as building relationships with those guys with things outside of football. I'm honored to be the head coach here at Highland, where I've grown up and graduated from. What we look for in our players is, what kind of teammate are you? Are you the guy that you're gonna coach everybody up that maybe doesn't know what's going on? Are you gonna be that guy that other teammates can lean on if they're having issues at home? That's one thing that we look for. Another one is how competitive are we? Are you somebody that's going to be in the first guy on the line, or are you going to stand in the back when push comes to shove? And we want competitive guys. You're not going to win everything, but we want those guys that have that mentality of, well, yeah, this is my time to do it. The thing that I think I would give the most credit to is I won't take any credit for anything, but I was with a really, really good group of teammates and classmates, and I was surrounded by a good coaching staff, but we were also surrounded by a great community, that supported everything that we were going through. But going back to my teammates and classmates, I was just one fish in the sea. There were a lot of us that we had one goal in mind, and we at the end of it, ultimately we come up short of that one goal. But I think along the ways, the things that helped me out were, we understood what it took to win. We didn't want to do anything except win, and it was during the summer times, during the winter times, it didn't matter what time of year it was or what we were doing. We were always playing some type of ball, whether it be football, basketball, or baseball. But then you had the coaches that they wanted to put in the extra time. If anybody ever wanted to come to the weight room or go to the field, you could always call those coaches, and they were the first ones here to let you in, or get you the balls that you needed, or whatever equipment you needed to do it. Those coaches were here to push us that extra mile. I am honored to be inducted into the Highland Athletic Hall of Fame. There are no words to describe the feeling. I'd like to there's no way I can sit here and thank everybody, because I will definitely leave somebody off. But a couple people that I would like to recognize is my wife, Brianna, my parents, my coaches, the teammates and classmates that I had. As I said earlier, I don't want to take any credit for this. And again, I can't name everybody, or I will definitely forget some. But my brothers, some of the best games that I was ever a part of was not with an actual team, but in our front yard. And that's where we got better as a whole and individually. And we had painted football fields in the yard, and we were playing home run derbies, and so those are just a few people that I want to give shout outs to, but there's more people, and there's so many that I cannot name. But I am honored to be where I am today as the head football coach of this program. I'm honored to be back in the community where I grew up and I was a part of, and go Rebels.
My name is Ginger Murphy. I'm the class of 2002 and also state champs from 2002 in basketball. District champs, pretty sure we went 12-0 and we were undefeated my senior year at home. Conference champs, regionals, we came in third. And then state champs. But then like all the three tournaments, like the Lion, the Kale, the NEA, we lost all of those in the finals. So, and then I don't even know where to start on personal recognitions. It's not even about me. It's about my team. Because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here right now talking to you about this. The journey pretty much started in second grade during Pee Wee's, when my mom took on the role of coaching us. And it kind of went from there. We stayed together as a group, our whole team. And then as we got, it was our grade and we weren't very good in 7th grade. I don't even know if we won maybe a game. We were awful. And then like we just kept practicing and building on that. And then as we got to junior high, we got a little bit better. Senior high, as the years went, and then our senior year, it's like our whole team just like gelled together, and it all just happened. Anyone from the bench to the players that played, like we had people on the bench that never stepped foot, but they busted it in practice to make us better. They put Post-it notes in lockers. They put them on the bus. They did everything. And then like the subs coming in to just stepping up and playing a big role. It was a whole team effort. It's not just like one individual person. My first one would be my mom, because she kind of like set the foundation for me and taught us fundamentals and kind of led the path for all of us, not just me. And I mean, there's so many that I don't even, anywhere from my summer coaches to like fans like Coach Brogdon. He's set against the wall, him and my dad down there. Like they would be, if something happened during the game or whatever, they'd be like, hey, you got this, keep your head up, get it the next time, stuff like that. So, I mean, there's just people. It wasn't specifically a coach like on the sidelines. It was just people throughout my life. It was pretty surreal. I mean, we were there. No one picked us to win. We had to go 3 days early, maybe. I'm not even for sure. And we had to see Ozark there doing all their stuff, everything like that. And on their bus, it said 3P. They already had it in their head that they were going to win. Well, that just lit a fire underneath us to be like, oh, that's how you are. So that was just more motivation for us to go out, play big, play smart, play as a team. And that's exactly what happened. The part I like most about that is, like I said, we were a team. Everyone gelled. Everyone deserved it. And like us just going to like show the crowd, like you guys, the student section, everyone like, thank you for coming. I didn't know till it was over with that they brought like 8 or 9 pet buses, something crazy. And like the stands were full. Like that meant a lot to us as a team, that all those people were behind us. And it was just that gives me chills to this day, that we had that much support from our community, like businesses shut down, all that, just to come watch us play in a state championship game. Pee Wees, we had fun. I played AAU ball all the time. An ironic story, after we won state, I played on a team and Sarah Pfeiffer was my teammate. We went to nationals, everything together. After that game, we were on a team together that summer. There was several of us that were going to all these other colleges and stuff, and we all played together. So that was a little crazy moment. But also like me and my mom and Kim and Allison, like when do you ever see that happen? Like that's a very moment that we can remember, because who else has mother daughters, 2 of them on 2 state championship teams? That's only 2 that Highland has in women's basketball. So I think that's kind of cool too. I say it starts on what you do behind the scenes. Like what you do on the field it like shows what you've done behind the scenes. If you put in practice after school, if you go out on your own and be like, hey, mom, dad, can we go to the gym? Can we go to the football field? Can the golf course, whatever it is, if you put in the extra time, it's going to show during the game. But if you don't, then you're not going to stand out, because you haven't put in the effort that it takes to be that standout player. Just be yourself. Go live your dream. Don't let anyone like sidetrack you or say, oh, you're not going to do that. You can't do that. Just prove everyone wrong. Go live your life, do your best, and enjoy it.